in the week, I started taking everything out of the cockpit so I could get it prepped in Scotch-Brite, sanded down for interior paint and prime. And that's when I ran into a little issue. All right, guys, quick update from the Aeroworks workshop. It's Wednesday, March 10th. We are here working on the Super Duty. And we've got a couple things we've got to straighten out before we can move forward here, and I'm going to show you those here in a second. First off, you can see I've started kind of priming and getting the inside ready to paint. But I ran into a little issue, something I noticed earlier when I was first putting in the cabin frame, and that is that I have a slight gap going on right here. So there's like a little bit of a bend in this pipe. Now, one other thing I notice is that I have no gap right here. So I'm going to take out some of this gap here and see if I can relieve the pressure on this post, on this pipe here, and see if that'll straighten out. If not, then I'm going to have to probably replace that whole cabin frame because maybe something got tweaked in the manufacturing or something. So anyways, we're going to be taking the firewall back off. It's only been temporarily put on anyways. To finalize brake lines and to finish some painting inside. We'll get this cabin frame sorted out, and so we can start wrapping up this inside and get the door frames and everything started to be put together. You may have seen in a previous video I did get my seats, but I'm going to go into that in another full video on just the seats. We're going to make some tweaks on those seats as well. So we are back in the shop here, and we'll be working on the Super Duty fairly regularly here now that we're back home and not on the road. So that's the update for right now, and we'll see where we get after we get this firewall taken back off. Hey guys, Adam here in the Aeroworks workshop, and today we've been doing what feels like a little destruction here because, as you can see, it's like 10 steps forward and 5 steps back. But I think this is something that we need to get addressed, and we're going to have to get this squared away. So let me spin this around and show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so the cabin frame here, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this here, but there is a bend in here. Looking down this frame here, there's a bend right about here. It kind of goes up and then it goes back down again. And we thought, you know, maybe if we took a little off here that might relieve some, but this cabin frame is definitely tweaked here, right about in here, right about where the weld of that cross member is. So I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts? For me, I don't think I want something bent in my airplane. That's just kind of the way I am. You know, talked to Roger a little bit about it. He said, trim a little bit of this off and see if that relieves it. It's going to relieve the tightness against the rear fuselage, but I don't think it's going to take any of this bend out. This bend is in there from the factory. So I'm leaning towards just getting this whole cabin frame replaced, which means another trip back to the powder coater, which means waiting for this thing to come in, which means more delays, which means all of this is now going to have to wait. So that sucks, but I would rather have a safe airplane and not a bent cabin frame. So in the meantime, I'm going to be working on the empennage, getting this elevator and the horizontal and vertical stabs ready for powder coat. I'm going to be powder coating these similar to the Viking aircraft, except in my Aeroworks orange color, which you'll be seeing in a future episode when I discuss the paint scheme. So that's what I'm going to be doing, prepping this stuff here for powder coat and figuring out how I'm going to get this cabin frame replaced so that I can get this permanently riveted in and done with the cabin, so I can start working on cabin doors and so on. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but you know, you gotta do it right. And if it takes a little bit longer, it's not a race. It's about doing it safely
and correctly, and that's the way we're going to do it. So my firewall forward kit is on the way, and I'm working out the prop and engine stuff right now. Currently the engine wait is about 6 months, which a little bit longer than I expected, but with everybody building airplanes right now, everybody's ordering engines, so that's kind of the way that goes. So yeah, that's where I'm at for right now. I'll keep you in the loop on what's going on next and what happens with the cabin frame. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you had a bent cabin frame, top tube, what would you do? What would you want to do? You know, I kind of go both ways on it. It's not necessarily a structural point, so to speak, meaning that, you know, the front wing attachment point is here and the rear attachment point is up there. However, that does make it trickier to fit up cabin frames and stuff like that. So again, just let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna be close to wrapping up this episode for this week. I got a lot of stuff to plan out. I will show you, however, my to-do list, and these are some of the things I have to do here. So remove firewall, already did that. Remove cabin frame, did that. Trim the tube, doing that, although I don't think it's going to work. Refit and check for the curve, that's something we're working on right now. I've got to drill out the rivets for the shoulder harnesses. That's up on top of the aircraft there. Up on top of the top channels, there are some rivets up here that have already been put in that I'll have to take out because I've got a doubler that has to go on there now that I switched to the shoulder harnesses. It looks like this right here. So this guy will get riveted up here in a certain spot to double up that for extra strength. The hole gets drilled through and a bolt goes through from the bottom all the way through to the top where my shoulder harnesses for the front seats actually mount to. So I want to get that drilled out, all riveted up and done, so I don't have shavings and things falling down into a painted interior fuselage. So that's one of the things that has to be done. And then install the gasilator. I'll be going to that a little bit more detail. I'm not using the stock one that Zenith provides. I'm using one from the Flyboys. It's a flush mount drop filter. So we'll be getting that positioned. I bought the installation kit for that, so that'll be going somewhere in this region here through the floor and provides the spot for the fuel filter. Excuse me, the fuel filter's down here. The fuel selector will be up here, and then of course the wing tank. So the wing tanks feed into the selector, filter, and then so on to the engine. So that's something I'll be covering in a future episode. We'll be doing that since we got the firewall off. We can go ahead and cut this out and install that. All right, guys. Well, I think this is a good spot to stop this week's episode. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I got to kind of regroup and figure out exactly where we're going to tackle and where we're going to start next week. I do want to give a shout out to Joe over at Joe's RC for giving us a shout out last week in one of his videos. It's awesome to see so many people building Zenith aircraft, but not only Zenith aircraft, but so many people that are also documenting them on YouTube. So it's nice to see the aviation community continuing to grow and people that are getting out there and doing their dreams and building a plane and actually documenting it. I know how much time goes into all these videos, and it's pretty amazing. So give Joe's channel a check out. I'll leave a link down in the bottom below. And he's actually building a Zenith Cruiser, so if you're interested in more of a cross-country Zenith, that's what you want to take a look at, the Zenith Cruiser. I'm building the Zenith Super Duty, which is more of a STOL aircraft, a little bit bigger, heavier lifter. Both channels, lots of great content there. Do make sure you like and subscribe. It does help the channel. Been doing YouTube for quite a while, but my genre changed a little bit. I used to do a lot more drone activity, and now I'm really focusing on the aircraft building on this channel now. So it would does help a lot if you guys give it a like and a thumbs up. Share the videos, pass them along, things like that. So thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. We will be back to more regular videos here coming soon, and I've got a lot of specialty install videos coming up. You want to stay tuned.
in the upcoming weeks, and updates on parts and things like that. So again, Adam with Aeroworks, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next video.